Good morning, everyone. Let me see here. I have to get me a cup of coffee. See this cup? See that? That's my oldest granddaughter drew that about 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. She's about 7 or 8. Look at how beautiful, huh? Her daddy put it on a cup. I love you. Artwork by my namesake. Yes. Yeah? Okay. Coffee tastes so much better out of this cup, I'm telling you. So, what we're talking about, numbers, it's in a way so disturbing. It's really no other way except for driving people out, causing a bunch of bloodshed. Then I saw a post this morning. Warn people, hellfire is real, something like that. Eternity is forever, time is short. I went in and I said, that's a fallible concept. I'll tell you why. I guess it wasn't given in my nature, right? Yes? To be a pessimistic person, a negative person. I'm not hoodwinked either. Okay. A bloodbath. I'll tell you the bloodbath that I experienced. I was about 6 going on 7. And I woke up in the middle of the night to something. And I went to the bathroom. And I looked in the toilet. I don't remember actually going pee. Okay, but I looked in the toilet. And I guess I didn't notice anything else. Kind of still half asleep. How old was I? Looked in the toilet and it was all red. It was, the toilet water wasn't clear like me. Okay, time to pee. It was all red. There was nothing but red in the toilet. Then I started looking around and I saw a trail of blood. Lots of blood going everywhere. And I followed the trail. And we lived in a 3-apartment house. We were on the top floor. And I looked and I went, and the front door was open, and the blood went. And I looked, and down the steps there was this blood trail, just lots of blood. And I heard farther down, no doubt my mom, and she was cleaning up the blood trail. And no doubt she was gagging. I could hear her gag and this and that, cleaning it all up. And no, I didn't go down the steps or anything. I didn't talk to my mom. I just went back to bed. All I remember is I went back to bed and I went back to sleep, and that was that. The next morning, found out that my dad coming home in a total drunken stupor. You walked in downstairs through the front door, then it was like a foyer there, and you kept on going, and there was a swinging door with double panel glass, right? Like this. Part of it, the top part. And my dad, in his drunken stupor, didn't realize that all he had to do is just swing the door open to go through. He held the door and pushed his whole fist and hand through both panels. And it cut up everything in here. And that was, man, what's right there? Everything. That's what caused it. Of course, we went upstairs and probably woke up his wife and said, I think something's wrong. I don't know. Mom never really totally said anything about that. I do know that one of his friends, or that one, someone farther below in that one of the apartments, took him to the hospital and they fixed him up. Interestingly enough, my dad, his hand and everything healed up just fine. He had no lasting damage from that. Nor would I say, would he have any lasting damage? Not physically, not spiritually, really, when it came down to it, as long as he lived. The damage was done where? Okay. Oh, was I damaged? No, not in any. No, I just remember it. Right? But as far as am I attaching any kind of feelings to that or anything from that time, I remember it. I remember it for a reason. Like we all do remember certain things for a reason. Remember what I said? I'm not a pessimistic or negative person. Not like that. My dad was not a bad person. From the stories that I got from my mom, my grandma, a couple of aunts, my dad started drinking at the age of 7. My grandma, his mom, worked at a restaurant and they lived at the restaurant too. They were, and he would go around and finish up all the drinks and the beer and the wine. Yeah? And somehow nobody noticed. Well, they didn't know it. And my dad was not a big talker. He didn't. There's no way he would have divulged that. From the way I knew my dad, he didn't divulge that information. So who knew? And who didn't stop it? Interesting? Anyway, so it went on. My dad was not an unhappy alcoholic. When he was, or workaholic, he seemed to love both equally. Yes? I don't remember him being mean to us children when it came down to it or anything. There were some other incidences, but as I said, they're not worth mentioning when it comes to someone that wasn't. Okay, all right. My dad was just fine when he was completely drunk. Then my mom would just take him to a bath and put him to bed, and that was that. But when he wasn't quite there, my dad's personality changed. So, but as I said, oh, was there a lot of violence or this? No, there were. That was the occasional, and then that bloodbath. Okay, one time when I turned 7, my mom decided that it wasn't safe enough to be around our dad, and not for her, not for us, as time would go on. And she tried to change. And she thought she could change my dad, but that didn't happen. And so she left. They separated for 3 years and then they divorced. I have to tell you that we moved a lot. We were thrown out of our apartments and homes a lot until then. My dad was really noisy when he was okay, all right, all right. That's it. In a way, now telling the stories are really comical, and or some of them would be, but at the time, of course, and again, as a child, you just kind of watch what's going on. So after 10 years of marriage, they finally got a divorce. Oh, there was a lot more going on. You guys, my mom's a saint. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I don't know how many brothers, half brothers, and half sisters I have around the world. Due to the engineering genius my dad was, he worked in many different places around the world as well. Hmm. Where am I going with this? When my dad passed away at the age of 57, which I'm older than him now on earth, when he passed away at the age of 57, uh, I didn't have anything to do much with my dad for a long, long time. I already lived here in the United States, had children, and hadn't ever contacted my dad again after the age of 18. And I had my reasons for that. That was that. I am a very loyal person. I know who I want to be loyal to, and that was my mom. And my mom went through a lot of heartache with my dad. I'm not, as a child, going to add to that by being goody goody two shoes with my father. That was that for me. I wanted to be 100% loyal to my mom, the one that raised us, the one that sacrificed for us to grow up into the wonderful human beings that I feel we all are. Huh? Yeah, with our own little quirks, isn't this, that, so be it, right? Yes. Then the ancestor liberation ceremony came along in the movement that I joined, True Parents. True Parents and the Divine Principle, the completed Testament age, the second coming of Christ. And it was my dad, after his death, because of what he had, in a way, accumulated before that, then how, as children, how we profited from that, we were able to pay for that. We were able to, yeah, okay. In many ways, that was a really amazing time. And I'm not going to get further into it. Would you like me to bore you with more of that? But I know how the change of lineage to God through true parents and the blessing works. I know how the ancestor liberation worked in my life, in my children's lives, in my husband's life. Still ongoing, but there had to be a beginning. And my husband's dad, my father-in-law, both of them were an amazing part of that. My dad, from Spirit World, made ancestor liberation ceremony possible through the works he did on earth and left for his children. My father-in-law made hometown providence possible with what he worked for and the land he left to his children, of which only his son Paul and I, his wife, took advantage of and made it happen. Yeah, interesting. I think that both my husband and I could have been very negatively affected by some of the things that went on with our parents. But in a way, neither of us did. Neither of us did to the extent where then we couldn't fulfill what we should do in the completed Testament age for our ancestors and then our descendants. Yes? Yeah. So, are the rough times that you have as a child. Okay, not talking about the absolute abuse, sexual abuse, this and that, beatings. Okay, that's uh, even then. If children make it through it, one never knows why one has to go through that. But I'm talking about my ancestors, my children's ancestors. Okay, but I was a part of a bloodbath. It looked like a bloodbath. Yes. And how did it affect me? Very little. Why? Interesting. Mm. I was told growing up one doesn't cry unless you're actually in pain, physical pain. Visible physical pain. Otherwise, don't waste your tears. When I got to the United States, I made some good friends who taught me how to cry again as well. Mm. It's, again, are there reasons for certain things that happen in our life then that make us stronger and then bring people back into our life to soften us up again when the time is right. Yeah. Anyway, one can look at it one way or the other. But what are we going through right now? In Numbers with Israel, the people of God, what are they doing? And what after that needs to be restored? Are they really truly listening to God? Following God's guidance? Hmm? So, having seen the post about eternity is forever, time is short. No, that's a fallible concept. Eternity is there. Right? As I told my dad, who after that, my dad's after that ancestor liberation foundation, my dad's restoration began. Hmm? Husband's dad's, my father-in-law's, did as well. I got amazing stories there to tell too. Maybe another time. We'll see what comes up, right? Spirit world basically guides me. I had so many spiritual experiences all through my life. I just could go on and on and on and on. But spirit world lets me know this is what you share. Yes? Okay. All right. So let's get going here. Again, fought. Well, there you go. Well, don't you guys all know better than I ever would? What do I read every day first before my Bible reading? Huh? I was a blessed child. Didn't sound like it, did it? But I was a blessed child. I really was. I know that sometimes, I'm going to mention that real quick. Jesus said when his mom and his siblings came to look for him, I don't have a mother and I don't have brothers and sisters. I don't know who you are. Right? Yes? And people abuse that in a way. I see that. Where then you just abandon your childhood, your parents that brought you up, good or bad, and then the continuation of that. But as we go on, again, what we have experienced through childhood sometimes is needed to bring out the best in us later on. When we grow that heart to mind, right? Grow closer to God. And what becomes our guidance? So we had some guidance that wasn't perfect when we were younger, but we find the guidance that is so, and we don't want to leave that, right? Yes, and fall back to what? That's what it means to me. That doesn't mean that I abandon what was in my childhood and who was there. But I'm definitely moving forward with what I know will restore my ancestors and be way better for my descendants. Yes? And what is that? The purpose of life is to bring God joy. Seems to be a pretty simple, right, way to be. So I was a blessed child because as a child I learned what, where. Then later on, when I learned about true parents, the completed testament age, the divine principle, I realized I know exactly what my family needs. I know exactly what my ancestors need. I know exactly what I should leave behind for my descendants. You see? All right. I was a blessed child. Peace in mankind, care and love for every dependent child. So, would you not want eternity to be not worried about the short time? I will have eternity. Even after I pass, I will still be able to be there for my family, my tribe, and my nation. And the whole of the both of the worlds, of these worlds, right? Earth and spirit world. Okay, with that. Every child feels secure, which reflects cause and effect in a child's life. Peace, every child eats. Peace, every child is warmed in cold times. Peace, understanding a child's growth in troubling times. Then to guide the child to attain harmony with peace. I am peace as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter of God. Peace to become the best I can be for every child. Repentance, knowing every child is deserving of peace. Prayer, knowing every child comes first. Restored, conditions are fulfilled when every child is loved and cared for. Death separates us from our earthly path to attain peace. Our taught descendants are the future. The change of lineage, God's lineage in action, the true cause and effect in a child's harmonious and happy life. I am an adult, ashamed to ask for anything from my heavenly parents for myself. If a child on earth needs my prayers and conditions greater than I, peace will happen when peace can be found in every child. I will be less than any child that suffers due to mankind's unkindness. Spirit world will hold us all accountable regardless. Remember that. Okay. So, balance of give and take. Yep. It's Happy Lazy Sunday. I worked just about all week. I was amazed over how much I was able to do. Today I'm suffering a little bit, not too much. I should suffer more, could offer more up to a child who's in more need of a relief of pain than I am. I never know what the day will bring. It's Sunday today. Yep. Oh, well, there you go. Look at that. Boundaries. The boundaries of Canaan. Yahweh spoke to Moses. That's Numbers 34, we are in now. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, give the Israelites this order. Say, when you enter the country, Canaan, this will be the country which forms your heritage. This is Canaan as defined by its boundaries. The southern part of your country will start from the desert of Zin on the borders of Edom. Your southern boundary will start on the east at the end of the Salt Sea. It will then turn south towards the ascent of the Scorpions and go by Zin to end in the south at Kadesh Barnea. It will then run towards Hazar Abdar and pass through Asman. From Asman, the boundary will turn towards the torrent of Egypt and end at the sea. Your seaboard will be on the Great Sea. This will be your western boundary. Your northern boundary will be as follows. You will draw a line from the Great Sea to Mount Hor. Then from Mount Hor, you will draw a line to the pass of Hamat, and the boundary will end at Sedad. From there, it will run on the Sifron and end at Hazar Enan. This will be your northern boundary. You will then draw your eastern border boundary from Hazar Enan to Shapam. The boundary will run down from Shapam towards Riblah on the east side of Alim. Farther down, it will keep to the eastern shore of the Sea of Shinneret. The frontier will then follow the Jordan and end at the Salt Sea. Such will be your country with the boundaries surrounding it. Moses then gave the Israelites this order. This is the country where your heritage will be assigned by lot, and which Yahweh has ordered to be given to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. For the tribe of the Reubenites with their families and the tribe of the Gadites with their families have already received their heritage. The half-tribe of Manasseh has also received its heritage. Oh, look it there. What do we got here? These 2 tribes and the half-tribe have received their heritage on the other side of the Jordan by Jericho to the east towards the sunrise, before everyone else got their lot. Oh, we got the privileged ones already. I couldn't care less. Boundaries. The leaders in charge of the allocation. I do know one thing about that. It's very interesting. So we have no fences here, really, when it comes down to it. We have a gate at the front of the driveway by the road so that the horses don't just walk through. Okay, kind of, though they can go around it on both sides. If they, one side is pretty steep, I don't know, they still could if they wanted to. Horses can't go just about anywhere, not quite like goats, but they're getting older, a little less adventurous. Oh, we found them on the other side of the river. Get a call. I think we got the horses over here. That would have been, unless they went down Mosley Bend, and so that's like a 2-mile round trip. Oh, dear me. We had some funny things happening with them. But our animals don't know, right? Oh, that's our place. That's only as far as we can go, right? Yes, they don't know. So they have us, their owners, their masters, and we're the ones who have been, I'm the one mainly, who has been negotiating with the neighbors if it was necessary. So they could keep their freedom. Got a call from Alvin has passed away now, a neighbor down the road, and he happened to be a distant cousin as well, which a lot of people here are to us, not me, just by marriage. And he gives me a call and he says, I think got your horses down here. That's just about a quarter, half a mile. Let's see. Well, wait a minute. It's a half a mile. That was about a mile down the road. He says, I think we got your horses down here, all three of them at the time. I said, and they are they're mowing my lawn. I said, oh. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I'll be right down there to get them. He says, no, take your time. Everybody is enjoying them. They're real friendly and peaceful, and they're mowing my lawn. So take your time to come and get them. But I just wanted to let you know that's where they are at. Oh, cool. Okay. Animals don't, if they're free roaming, they don't know the boundaries. They can't, that's not in their DNA. Boundaries. Owning what? Territory, per se. Well, there are territorial animals. Okay, not by land, not in a land sense. That's a different type of territory thing going on there. But when it comes to our animals here, we're the ones who have to negotiate, huh? And keep the peace when it comes to that. Yes, yeah. Interesting, yeah. Anywho, it is what it is. Boundaries. You know, boundaries are needed with people. This and that is because you give someone the little finger. Okay, I'm gonna help you out. They're most likely will take your whole hand. Right? Not everyone, but too many. Where suddenly you're going, hey, wait a minute. Then you suddenly have to start fighting for the little that you have put up, right? The little that you successfully established around you and your surroundings. Even the children. And now, trusted so many people out there, right? With their education, this, that, and now suddenly, what's happening out there? Right? Only people do that to other people. Mankind's unkindness. The leaders in charge of the allocation. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, here are the names of the men who will divide the country up for you. The priest Eleazar and Joshua, son of Nun, and you will take one leader from each tribe to divide the country up into heritages. Here are the names of these men. Wait a second, I thought it was done by drawing lots. So that's not how it's done now. Well, okay. But that was God's way of doing it. Now they're taking things into their own hands again. Interesting. For the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. For the tribe of Simeonites, Shemuel, son of Ammihud. For the tribe of Benjamin, Eliot, son of Chislon. For the tribe of the Danites, the leader Buki, son of Yogli. Yogli. Ha ha! Sounds like Mowgli. Ha ha! Buki, son of Yogli. With the Danites. Well, there you go. For the sons of Joseph, for the tribe of Manasseh, the leader Haniel, son of Epod. Were they both half tribes? Interesting. For the tribe of the, makes one tribe then, right? For the tribe of the Ephraimites, the leader Kemuel, son of Shipton. For the tribe of the Zebulunites, the leader Elisaphan, son of Parnach. For the tribe of the Issacharites, the leader Paltiel, son of Asan. For the tribe of Asherites, the leader Ahihud, son of Shelomi. For the tribe of the Naphtalites, the leader Patahel, son of Ammihud. These were the men whom Yahweh ordered to divide Canaan into heritages for the Israelites. That's not true. That's not what Yahweh ordered. But okay, let's go with it, right? Yes? What else can we do? I wasn't there. But we were given something else. And what? 30? Numbers 30? People can't have it both ways out there. Yes, they can. You absolutely can. You're not being struck down by thunder, lightning, or whatever. It doesn't matter if you lie, cheat, steal, kill. Worship whatever you want to out there. Follow every doggone trend that comes along your way. This, that. You can do whatever you want. You can. And you have a short time to do so. You do have a short time to do all that. Then you have eternity to make up for it. That would be the right way to look at that concept. Yes? Yeah. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting. I have to say, my age of, oh, what did they call it? Are these my twilight years already? Or is that our twilight years when you get really old or something? Yeah. I have to say that at my age now, I'm very much at peace with both of my parents on however my relationship with them is, which I'm sure people would, if I were to disclose everything, which I don't need to, say, yeah, but yes, your buts are not my buts, right? Your ifs are not my ifs. Because there's one thing in my life that I have completely dedicated myself to, and that is God. My earthly life, my spirit life, and that is that. I'm grateful to the spirits and saints, of course, our brother Jesus, anyone else that prepared so much for someone like me to be then the best, more or less, that I can be. I thought this morning, I think I worked for 3 lifetimes. Yes, until I quit working. I said, I had enough. But until then, I feel like I worked for 3 lifetimes. Anywho, so there it is. It can't be done, people. Yes, it can't be done. Yeah. I'm at peace. And I'm at peace with a lot of my ancestors as well. Yes? Yeah. I hope my descendants will be as much at peace with me someday. Yes? Yeah. Ah, there is so much more out there, everyone, to do with BS and this and that than to fight over things, to be jealous and greedy. Yes? And make things complicated as possible, right? There's no need for any of that. You have to just be willing to step back and go, well, guess I'm just going to figure out how to not be a part of that. And then, what possibilities are available to me to really excel and do what? Purpose of life on earth, of course, later on his birth, is to bring God joy. Done. God's love and blessings to everyone. May he protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.